Hello everybody and welcome to the California Speedway for the Auto Club 500 in the second race for 2005 and our 2003 season. Greg Biffle starts on the pole alongside defending regular season champion Jimmie Johnson, trying to continue his streak of consecutive seasons of the win and up that to now 4 consecutive seasons. Of course, he made the championship before last season and finishing third in the championship. Didn't quite have the race that he was looking for there. Then Biffle got his teammate Carl Edwards behind him as you're green and underway here in California. Who is going to get the win here? Last couple seasons, of course, last season was Ryan Newman winning this race here in the early portion of the season, and Elliott Sadler won the race in the playoffs. And before that, Kurt Busch won 2 consecutive seasons, and Jeff Gordon won before that. Who's going to get done this time? At the front is Greg Biffle, leading here in California. His teammate, the rookie Carl Edwards, now into second. Having a great run to start this race. Jimmie Johnson behind him in third. Kevin Harvick is there, lurking in fourth. We also have Ryan Newman in fifth, trying to go back-to-back California spring race wins here. Let's see how he can do. But at the front, Greg Biffle trying to drive away with the lead here in California to his first victory of this 2005 season. Of course, he's won 2 times last season, and then he got 1 win in his rookie season of 2003. Made the playoffs both times, but both of them first round exits. So Biffle leads Carl Edwards now with Greg Biffle holding off Kurt Busch for the race lead here on lap number 11. Harvick now driving into second year, 2003 Next L Cup Series champion, trying to work his way forwards. It's back at the front. There's trouble. There's smoke. Someone's got their smoke on the apron. There's Casey Mears has blown an engine. The engine has expired on Casey Mears, who of course won at Las Vegas last year and made the playoffs to the round of 12. Now he has DNF'd out of this race early in the season here with a engine failure, so he is done. Meanwhile, back at the front, Greg Biffle continues to lead this race, trying to establish a firm control. And now we move on here to the last half of stage 1. Biffle absolutely dominating this stage over Jimmie Johnson back in second. Has currently left right now only 14 cars on the lead lap. That's how bad fast Greg Biffle and Jimmie Johnson are today. They are slapping cars left and right. I mean, they've left a lot of good cars like Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Tony Stewart, all of them 1 lap down. But right now it's Biffle, Johnson in the top 2. Biffle looking to bring home the stage win here, be his first stage win of the season. Here to start off 2005 season off to a great start for Greg Biffle. Roush Racing's 3rd year in the Cup Series, trying to really join his teammates' breakouts. Back to start finish line. Greg Biffle will dominate and win stage 1 in California. Jimmie Johnson is second. 3rd place going to be the 97 of Kurt Busch, 2-time winner here. McMurray 4th, Edwards 5th. 6th place is the 6 of Mark Martin. Coming home in 7th could be Dale Jarrett in the 88. Ryan Newman 8th. Mike Bliss is 9th. And the last stage point going to go to your 2003 champion of Kevin Harvick. As is Greg Biffle dominating, taking care of business here in stage 1. Now we begin stage 2 here on lap 80 is Biffle and Jimmie Johnson. Of course, your 2 leaders on the front row. Greg Biffle, great restart right there, gets clear and is back in the race leader at the line. And how about the 42 with Jamie McMurray? Of course, finished second in the points last season. Nearly took that championship away from Earnhardt Jr. If he would have had a few more cautions fall his way, he could have been in the mix for that title race. But now Jimmie Johnson trying to lead back from Greg Biffle. He was the best driver, arguably, all of last season. Didn't quite end up with that championship. Now, once again, battling Greg Biffle. High expectations this year for Jimmy now. Right up there with his teammate Jeff Gordon as championship threats and threats to the win week in, week out. Johnson now clears Greg Biffle as the 48 goes to the race lead. Johnson to the point, Biffle to second, McMurray down to third. Kurt Busch trying to steal it in fourth. A huge block by McMurray, but Johnson's caution. Looks like a trouble maybe involving your defending champion of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Got in a crash here with Ricky Rudd and Dave Blaney. Looks like Dave Blaney turns Dale Jr. right into his teammate of Michael Waltrip and spins them off of the 21 of Ricky Rudd, who also goes spinning. So 4-car incident here, bring out the yellow. Dale Jr., Dave Blaney, Michael Waltrip, and Ricky Rudd involved. So there's nowhere to go. They all go spinning. Everyone should stay in the race. Very minor damage sustained until right there when Ricky Rudd runs right into the back bumper of Dale Jr. Big hit right there. Dale Jr. having a tough day anyway here in California. Not going to get any better. That is for sure. So back to the front of the field. Jimmie Johnson leads here in stage 2 at California. And now on another restart here, lap 84. It is Biffle, Johnson, still the front row, still battling it out. Biffle with the better restart once again, but Jimmie Johnson's going to run the outside lane with Kurt Busch behind him. We're going to go 3-4 wide, all fanning out as we head into turn 1 here. So expect some great racing to be going on. Biffle now powers into that race lead, clears Jimmie Johnson, but here comes Jamie McMurray to the inside, trying to take that lead away. But here comes Carl Edwards. He's going to be 3 wide for the lead up there. As we throughout the pack, 3-4 wide throughout some incredible racing here in California. But Greg Biffle prevails In the battle for the race leads, he try to drive away with stage 2 now, try to sweep those stages. Jimmy Johnson secures second, JB McMurray third. As everyone's making their way through the corner, at the front of the field, it is Greg Biffle leading the Auto Club 500 here in California. And dominating fashion so far as he go into turn 1 and 2 over Jimmy Johnson in second now. On to the last lap of stage, coming to the last lap of stage 2, Biffle in the lead, Jimmy Johnson right there behind him in second, trying to take that stage win away, but Biffle has just been a little bit quicker, now getting blocked by the lap car, Jeff Burton. Now here comes Jimmy Johnson, big run, closing on Greg Biffle going that middle line. Jimmy trying to make the move to get around him here, follows him to the higher lane there for Johnson, trying to arc the corner, but Biffle gets underneath Jeff Burton, and Jimmy's going to take him 3 wide. Here comes Jimmy Johnson coming to the last lap of the stage, this time side by side with Greg Biffle for the lead in the stage win, trying to make it even with the points earned today. Each would have 19, each would have a playoff point, and they're side by side. Jimmy Johnson takes the lead here at California on the inside of Greg Biffle. What a move! And now last lap of the stage. Can Jimmy hold on to bring home the stage winner, or can Greg Biffle take it back from him and sweep both stages today here in California and cement himself as the favorite for the race win today? And Biffle's going to take that lead right back. What a move by Greg Biffle on pure speed. Just went right by Jimmy Johnson. And Biffle now in a great spot to sweep the stages here today in California and be well on his way to a huge points day to propel him up to the top of that point standings. And he goes for 3 more. The final. Jimmy Johnson's slowing down behind him. The 48. The Jimmy Johnson's coming down pit road. The stage is about to end. What is he doing? He comes down pit road. And Greg Biffle will win stage 2 and sweep the stages here in dominating fashion at California. Jimmy's going to give up a ton of points. McMurray ends up second. Edwards third. Newman fourth. Kurt Busch fifth. Then you have 6th place is going to go to now Mike Bliss. Mark Martin 7th. Rusty Wallace 8th, Johnson ends up 9th, gives up 7 points on the last lap of stage, and Dale Jarrett gets the last stage point, but Jimmy just gave up 7 points right there for no reason pitting. I don't know what his angle is. So now he gets to stay out on the restart and restart as the leader alongside Greg Biffle, but once again, Biffle and Carl Edwards, the Roush cars, get a brilliant restart, and Biffle back to the point here. So what will Jimmy Johnson do to try to bring home this victory after that blunder at the end of stage 2 when he could have just stayed out? He still would have been on the front row. But he sacrificed that stage point. So a very interesting call there from Jimmy Johnson and Chad Canals there, that Hendrick Motorsports team. But at the front, Greg Biffle in control, leading this race. Johnson fights Edwards for second. Johnson clears, almost wrecks right there, throwing a late block on Carl Edwards. They both managed to avoid incident and continue racing hard for that second spot. Biffle holds the lead, but here comes Jimmy Johnson right back on that back bumper. Carl Edwards now with the run on the high side. Biffle decides to block his teammate, and Biffle will hold the lead at the line here. Here in stage 2, less than 90 laps to go. And now as cautions come out, we got to restart once again here. Is out of the race now. That is a lot of cars. That's Ken Schrader, Dale Jarrett out of this race. Some real drama kicking off here in the final stage. We just have 34 laps to go. Jimmy Johnson leads over Jamie McMurray and Greg Biffle. A lot of good cars. Elliott Sadler, who won this race in the playoffs last season, is also out of this race. That is a shame. So at the front, Jimmy Johnson still leading. Greg Biffle second. Kurt Busch right in front. Here comes Greg Biffle trying to take the lead back once again. The 16 and the 48 have been battling all race long. Clearly the two best cars out here today. Who will prevail? Right now, Biffle's been winning the battle all day long. Got both stage wins. But Johnson trying to win the war and get the race win here as they're side by side at the line. The lead that time is going to go to Greg Biffle by a nose, but Johnson will power it to that lead into turn 1. Here comes the 48 trying to take it away from Greg Biffle. Some intense side-by-side racing for the lead and for the win here in California. Biffle the lead. Kurt Busch to second. He'll catapult Jimmy Johnson. He's got to out of trouble. Kurt Busch, big damage down the back straightaway. A few laps later, the 97. Heavy damage on Kurt Busch's car. He was running in second. That car now absolutely destroyed, and all of a sudden, Roush Racing's really strong day is starting to fall apart. Biffle looks like he has damage, and Johnson is just driving away with a huge lead, as Jimmy Johnson leads everyone back to the caution flag with just 24 laps to go. And now we get to a restart here. It's going to be 21 laps to go. Kurt Busch is out, as well as Greg Biffle and Ryan Newman. Newman was a top 5 car all day. Biffle was the dominant car of the day. And Greg Biffle is now out of this race, and a heartbreak for that 16. Looked like he was well on his way to a huge win to start his season off, but he has crashed out and will unfortunately end up coming home in 19th place, I believe. And Jimmy Johnson now is going to bring home what looks like an easy victory. He's got a huge lead over Mike Bliss, your Southern 500 winner. Kevin Harvick and Mark Martin as Jimmie Johnson just driving away now. 20 laps to go. Jimmie Johnson with a huge lead here in California. Now trouble. Jeff Gordon is destroyed. In the middle of turn 2, Jeff Gordon and Scott Riggs go crashing hard into the outside wall. A big hit for those two drivers. They go slam that outside wall. I see right here, just way too deep. Scott Riggs just sends it in and takes out Jeff Gordon, who's having a rough day anyway, but just cleans him out. And Jeff Gordon and Scott Riggs both done for the day. And back to the front of the field, it is still Jimmie Johnson in control of this race, looking to bring home the victory. So a lot more guys out of this race. And so now we're going to get back underway here with just 11 laps to go in California. And look at Kevin Harvick, the closer, taking the lead here on the restart, trying to take the win away from Jimmie Johnson. And now with Greg Biffle out, is the odds-on favorite to bring it home. He's been the second best car to Biffle all day long. Johnson's been the best in this final run. Now he's going to get clear of Harvick and Mike Bliss. And Johnson's going to start driving away once again. There goes that 48. Jimmie Johnson incredibly fast today here in California, trying to get career win number 8 and be win number 1 of the season, which of course most importantly locks up that playoff spot. They try to go repeat that championship. Mike Bliss has gotten to Kevin Harvick back there. They almost wrecked. They saved, but Jimmie Johnson now with a very comfortable lead here at California with just 10 laps to go. And now here we are coming to take the white flag this time by Johnson with a 3-second lead over Mark Martin. A white flag in the air. Final lap presented by Credit One Bank for Jimmie Johnson. About to get his first win of this 2005 season, and race number 2 will be career win number 8 in his first here at California Speedway. We're joined, of course, his teammate Jeff Gordon, who's won here 4 times already, as Johnson now looking to bring home the victory. Has been so strong all day long with Greg Biffle crashing out. The door was open for him to really start dominating, and here he is now through 3 and 4 for the final time. It is going to be Jimmie Johnson who is going to bring home the win and take care of business here in California with a late charge. Jimmie Johnson wins at California. Career win number 8. Mark Martin, your runner-up. Mike Bliss, a great third-place finish. Harvick, 4th. Bobby Bonio's your top 5. Carl Edwards, 6th. Jamie McMurray, 7th. Rusty Wallace, 8th, the last car on the lead lap. Then Marlin and Vickers round out the top 10. So Jimmie Johnson wins here at California, his 8th career win, first of the season, clinches his spot in the playoffs, and is now ready to make another championship run as he did last season when he made it all the way to the championship 4 and nearly pulled it off. That 48 team is hitting on all cylinders to start the year right now. He'll see if he can keep it up next episode in Las Vegas. To see, of course, a long list of DNFs, including Greg Biffle. We'll see if they playoff grid momentarily. So there's a playoff grid, of course. Jimmie Johnson clinches his spot in the playoffs, joining, of course, your Daytona 500 winner Travis Quaffle in that massive upset. They are both in. A lot of guys comfortably on points. McMurray, Mark Martin. You see the rest of the grid there. It's still going to change really wildly to the next couple of races till we really get solidly into the season and establish our contenders. So there's your current playoff grid. You can pause if you like to see what's going on there. And I hope you all have a good one.